from a permitted provider within the county and figure it out if they're going to be closer than the unit they have responding. Thank you. Spot 5. 288. 5, we're off to Station in Pomona. Going from there at Riverside Engine 2, can you place this on the Magnolia and show us the route?
doctor is Jose Arballo, A-R-B-A-L-L-O.
And what are we doing in the city of Riverside today, sir?
Yeah, we had 34 patients here at the Magnolia Rehabilitation and Nursing Center test positive for COVID. Over the last couple of days, a number of staff members failed to show up for work. The county, in response, shifted resources and brought some nurses and other staff here, along with Kaiser Permanente, to staff the facility for a day and a half. It was decided that that was not sustainable, and that the Dr. Cameron Kaiser, our county health officer, decided to evacuate the facility and move the patients to locations where they would have fully staffed facilities. The evacuation should take several hours. The patients will be moved to facilities throughout the county.
What kind of precautions do you need to take? On one hand, when people hear about all of these patients who, a big cluster of which might be positive, are in one location, there's at least some solace in knowing, okay, it's sort of contained to here. But now that you're moving them hither and yon, what kinds of precautions do you need to take? Because I'm sure there are other people who are worried, okay, what hospitals are now going to have all these positive people come in?
Sure. What happens is the facilities that, first off, the first group of patients that will be moved are the negative patients who will be brought into facilities that it's either Kaiser, IHP, so they'll be moved first. The other facilities are aware of the precautions that need to be taken for them to be moved and to be placed at different locations. So that those facilities are already aware and know what precautions must be taken for their staffs and the patients to be safe.
And again, what precipitated all this? Was this, all of a sudden a bunch of people just didn't show up for work?
Well, I will say this morning, before we started moving people around, a young lady showed up. She was a nurse here, and she was reporting to work, ironically. And she was saying that it's true that a number of the staff were very worried. They were scared. They just didn't know what was going on. And so I took her at her word, and she didn't deny that people didn't show up. But she felt very sad because she did like the people here. She loves the patients. She wanted to help, but she also understood why people were scared.
And what's the fine line there between, you have workers, we have the situation at the one in Yucaipa too, that, they're scared, they don't want to, go into a place even though that's their job, but bottom line is that's their job and you need healthcare workers out there.
I will say this, Dr. Kaiser, as I mentioned, the county health officer, he described what they did as abandoning their patients. And that's how strongly he felt about it. And it is difficult, and it is a scary time, but I think when he said that, these people depend on professionals to do their job, and it is a scary time. And it's understandable that people would be anxious because of a lot of things that we don't know about. And we're learning about this still. And I guess that's something that for future, this is not the only facility that has positive patients. There are others. And the idea that this is something that can't happen. We need the staffs to be able to work with proper protection and equipment. But at the same time, these facilities, they house a population that's vulnerable. They're generally older, they're generally more sickly, and they usually always have underlying health issues, which are the prime target of COVID-19.
And so then what's the message to other facilities out there where there are probably also workers that are very, very important, but they're scared to come to work too?
Well, I think it's incumbent on everybody from public health to other professionals to communicate with everybody, the public, the staff, what is true, what is not true, solid information, proper equipment, proper supplies, so that they feel confident that they're protected when they're doing their jobs. And that's the hope. Thank you.
And then the what's the status here as far as how many patients are having to be moved, and how's the process going to work?
We are evacuating all 84 patients that are here. So after today, this facility will not have any patients in it. And like I said, it'll be about 3 or 4 hours, but that's our understanding now. All 84 will be evacuated.